Hey, Facebook family, this your girl Lotus Rashay from Lotus Rashay Ignites Life Coaching and Consulting, where I'm bringing inspiration to all the nations because I love helping you help yourself. Now, tonight I'm going to be talking about 3 things real quick that you need to make sure you do before going into 2020. 3 things you need to make sure you do before you go into 2020. And tonight I'm going to have a guest on the show, Dr. Sandra Brooks, who is the author of The Pursuit of Purpose. So join me in welcoming Dr. Sandra Brooks, the author again of Pursuit of Purpose. Hey, Dr. Brooks, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for joining me this evening. And we wanted to quickly talk to the people tonight about the 3 things that they need to do before they go into 2020. I'm going to tackle the first one. The first one that you need to do before you go into 2020 is to make sure that you are focusing on your credit and make sure that you get your credit straight. Don't debate, get your credit straight. And there are several things that you can do to get your credit straight. But the first thing that you have to do to get your credit straight is know what your credit scores look like. So the first thing I would recommend that you can do is get your credit reports from all 3 credit bureaus: TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. That's right. Get all 3 of your credit reports because you can't fix what you don't know is or is not broken. So that's the first thing. Get your credit report and then begin to work on your credit report. And if you need some help with that, if you don't know what to do once you get your credit report, because that's just the beginning part.
That's right.
Contact me, I am me, and I can help you out with my credit secret books, okay? So the second thing is your finances. You got to get your finances straight. It's unequivocal that there's a lot of talk going on now about a recession that may or may not occur in 2020. So
Right.
having said that, if you know that there's a recession about to come, one would think that you might want to get your finances in order. So what do you think about that, Doc?
Well, I think that's really important. Um, Especially the credit piece. And you need all 3 credit reports because different places report to different credit bureaus. You need to know about your finances and have savings in place because you can't depend on whether or not you're going to be able to borrow money from someone else. You need
Right.
money in order to live.
Right.
So you got to take action now.
Mhm.
And that takes us into the third thing because you got to know where you've been, but you also got to know where you're going. And we've got to set some goals, and we need to get out of the practice of thinking that we have our goals up here in our minds. I can tell you that in 2020, I'll be 60 years old. And I can tell you this, what I used to could retrieve from my mind was a lot, but I
Mhm.
can't get it now. I
Mhm.
need to have it written down and I need to have it where I can look at it. And when
Yeah.
I set my goals, I need to make sure they're measurable. I need to make sure that they have action steps on how
Mhm.
to get me there.
Right.
Because some of us, we have these really wide open goals that we can't even begin to accomplish because we don't know what it takes.
Right. So make sure that you working on your credit. Okay. Again, these are the 3 things that you need to do. You need to work on your credit. First, start off with getting your credit report. And if you can't do this for yourself, go ahead and contact somebody, ask somebody to help you. Okay. Help you read the credit report.
That's
Sometimes it's
right.
hard to read the credit report because it's so much stuff on the credit report. And if you don't know much about credit reports and how to read them, you're going to be totally lost. Even some of the smartest people I know still stumble in this area. Okay. The next thing is once you get that credit report, or if it were me, before I even get the credit report, I would have somebody already set up to work with once I get the credit report. Because a lot of times we'll get the credit report, we'll look at it. It's so much stuff on there. It's so convoluted in our minds. We'll lay it down and won't pick it back up. Okay. So before you even get that credit report, already speak to a professional who knows how to address your credit problem. Okay. And address it properly. And somebody that's not going to take you to the bank trying to charge you an arm and a leg to help you. Because a lot of the things that's on your credit, you can remove yourself with the right knowledge. And that's why that book, Credit Secrets, is so phenomenal. And if you need information on the credit secrets, just private message me and I'll give you the information. I'll give you the link, and it will help you start to help yourself to change your credit for the better. And again, your finances. You've got to get yourself situated with finances. You've got to make sure you have savings, okay? Not just for a rainy day, but enough not just to survive, but to thrive. Because if we do encounter a recession, like Dr. Brooks said, you may not be able to borrow from someone. In fact, there may be people coming to borrow from you. Are you going to be in a position to lend, or will you need to borrow? Or the best case scenario is not to have to borrow at all, but rather be set for whatever comes. And the last thing is the goals. Goals are critically important. If you have not attained your goals that you set forth for 2019, guess what? Get hot on it. We still got some time left in this year, and you can achieve those goals. So, Dr. Brooks, let me ask you this. We talked about credit. We talked about don't debate, get your credit straight. We gave our audience ways to contact us. We talked about finances and saving, and we talked about goals. What could you say, Dr. Brooks, to help motivate our viewers in all three of these areas?
The first thing I can say is that the majority of people have complained about the things that they have gone through in 2019. We can see that right now there's a lot of talk about a shift occurring as we walk into 2020. And that when this shift occurs, that things are going to be different. We have many people that whine day in and day out about their circumstances and where they find themselves. But if you want to change your life, you got to change your mind. And part of changing your mind is getting yourself straight, not just spiritually, but getting your mind right, getting your finances right, getting goals in place, because it takes focus, it takes determination. And if I take the term from Jennifer McNeil, it takes intestinal fortitude. It takes courage. But if you don't have that focus and you don't have your goals in front of you, you're going to do the same thing you've always done. And if you do the same thing you've always done, you're going to be in the same place you've always been in.
Right.
The change comes when you make the change.
Right.
Doesn't matter what job you have. I've seen people that have six-figure incomes and still a one paycheck away from disaster.
Right.
Because it takes a mindset. It takes a difference in knowing what to do with money. That money is not what I want to say. Money is not the enemy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Money is actually your friend, and it takes changing the attitude that you have. If you go to those of you that subscribe to Christianity, the book of Ephesians in the 10th chapter, there's something in there, the B clause of it, that says money answers all things.
Right.
In Proverbs, it tells you that a poor man's wisdom is never heard. when are we going to get it in our head that Jesus talked more about money,
right,
than he did most other things, and the things that he talked the most about are the things that we don't want to talk about.
mm.
So if we're going to change our lives, it's up to us.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't easy for us to get where we are, and it's not going to be easy for us to get out of where we are.
Right.
So you've got to roll up your sleeves and do the work.
With my credit secret books. So what about, now you've talked about the credit, you've talked about the finances. Tell us a little bit more about goals. And I'm asking you to do that because a lot of times people create goals. The first of the year, everybody's coming up with these goals. Some people call them New Year's resolutions and things like that. But the second day into the new year, they're not even thinking about it. They're not even doing anything about these quote unquote New Year's resolutions, quote unquote goals, because it takes courage. And I'm going to be speaking about that this weekend, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later. But Doc, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
And the first thing that I'm going to say is that what they write for New Year's resolutions and what most people write down and call them goals are not goals, they're objectives. A goal is specific.
Okay.
That's the first thing. It is very specific. It is sensible, is significant, and it is simple. The second thing that a goal is that it's measurable. If you can't measure your progress, it's not a goal, it's an objective. When I say measurable, it's something that is motivating. It's something that's going to motivate you to want to accomplish it because it comes out of a desire, a deep burning desire that you have.
Right.
The third thing is that it's achievable. It has to be something that you can attain.
Right.
There's no need for you to set a goal and say, I'm going to have $5 million in 60 days. Because many of us can't do that. There are some people out there that might be able to do that, but the majority of us can't do that.
Right.
So it has to be something that you know you can attain.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
And it has to be relevant, which means it has to be reasonable, it has to be realistic, and it has to be something that you have the resources to accomplish, or the resources are available for you to accomplish. And then the last thing is that it has to be time bound, that you give it a time frame. Because if it doesn't have those things, it's not a goal. And it's not a goal that you're going to be able to accomplish. And I could go into this in a lot of detail. I teach this on a regular basis. But it's called SMART. It's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Right. And you have to remember those things. And even after you accomplish that, you want to break it down into how you're going to do it, into simple action steps. There are people out there that are unemployed. They have a desire to have a job within 6 months. Okay, so how are you going to achieve that? Well, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to write a resume. The second thing that you should do is to have someone that knows about resumes to proof your resume to make sure that it's effective. The third thing is to disseminate your resume to places where you know you can work. Now, it's no need for you to send a resume to Payne College if you don't have a degree. Because that makes it not realistic. Once you send them out, then you're going to go, and I tell people this all the time, don't just send your resume out and just leave it there. Right. In a few days, call back and ask about your resume. Let them know that you want to actually have this job. And this is how it works. And you need to have it all written down. And write down every place that you sent a resume, who you talked to, who you need to talk to, what was the results when you talk to them, so that you have a record and you can start to see patterns of what you need to do better or what you may not need to do at all. But it takes work. You can't just say, I'm going to lose weight in 2020. How many pounds are you going to lose? How long is it going to take you to lose it? Is that really realistic? What are you going to do to lose the weight? And then have a running record. Every Thursday, I'm going to weigh myself, or I'm going to weigh myself once a month. And every month, my goal is to lose 2 pounds.
Wow. That's awesome. So, and I like what you said about be specific about your goals.
It has to be specific.
Yes, you got to be specific about your goals, and your goals has got to be specific. They've got to be measurable, and it's got to be something that, go ahead,
achievable.
Because if it's something that you don't think you can achieve, then you're already starting out the gate in disbelief. And disbelief purports lack. So you're already starting at a deficit. Right. So make sure you're specific about your goals, because that's one of the starting points to getting the goal achieved. You have to be specific. And don't forget, first and foremost, you got to determine what that goal is. And of course, we're talking about 2019 goals, and 2019 is almost over. So if you haven't achieved the goals that you want to achieve, you still have time. And I challenge you to take the steps that Dr. Brooks has laid out to help you achieve those goals. If you haven't achieved them, maybe because you weren't specific, maybe because it wasn't measurable, or maybe because there really wasn't realistic. They weren't really achievable. So remember that. And then another great thing we want to tell everybody out there: don't debate. Get your credit straight. A lot of times we're focusing on, well, I can't use this program because it might be a scam. Find a program or someone who's used a program that helped them get their credit straight. And Credit Secrets is a phenomenal way to get started. Okay. But get your credit straight. There are many companies out there like Creditable, different banks that will help you. Capital One will help you establish credit, First Premier, Navy Federal, Penn Fed, and there are some things that you have to do to get into some of these credit unions and things like that, and I'll be happy to talk about it at another time, and you can IM me and I can give you information on that. But get your credit straight. Even if you get a credit card from Fingerhut. Now, the interest rates may be high just starting out if you don't have excellent credit, but you've got to get established somewhere. I encourage you, don't go into another year with jacked up credit. And many people have jacked up credit. Many people have experienced jacked up credit. Many people has co-signed for a car loan, has signed for a house, has signed for a credit card, or what have you, and the person you co-signed for defaulted. Or maybe you yourself got a loan and you defaulted. Maybe you have student loans that you've defaulted, car loans, house loans, store credit cards, what have you. Well, guess what? That's what happens when life happens. It happens. But don't let guilt and shame keep you burdened down so that you are perplexed and paralyzed into doing nothing. Get your credit straight. If it's anything I can do to help you, don't hesitate. IM me and I will give you some of the best information I know. I will help connect you with some of the best financial advisors on the planet. Okay? So please go ahead and get your credit straight. Also, get your finances straight. Get some money saved so that you don't have to keep saving just for the rainy day, because it's going to be a lot of rainy days. And your money may not be enough umbrella to keep you dry. So get your finances straight. If you have bills that you know you need to pay for, pay them off if you have the money. If you don't have the money to pay them off, make a plan. Like in your goals that Dr. Brooks talked about, Make a plan of how you're going to pay those things off. And a lot of times the easiest way to do it is get the bill that costs the least. Say you got 4 bills. You got a bill for $2,000. You got a bill for $800, a bill for $600, and a bill for $250, right? If you can take care of the bill for $250, take care of that first and work your way up. Okay? If that's how you have to do it, that's how you have to do it. Okay? Because this coming year, 2020, there is going to be a significant paradigm shift on many levels. Don't get caught with your pants down around your ankles. And if there's anything we could do to help you, just reach out because we're happy to help you. Okay? A couple quick things, Doc. I want to shout out to a couple people. Danielle Pierce. She is magnificent with tax sales and things of that nature. Also, if you're trying to get on YouTube and blow up your YouTube channel, she did a segment last night where she had some great people on, and they talked about how to help you with YouTube because you need extra funnels of money coming in, okay? Also, don't forget to look up the book, The Pursuit of Purpose. If you're still stuck and trying to find your purpose, look up the book, Pursuit of Purpose by Dr. Sandra Brooks, and she'll make sure you get a copy. Don't forget Stripe, Strength, and Lipstick by none other than Jennifer. All right, there's that book, The Pursuit of Purpose by Dr. Sandra Brooks. Thank you, Doc. And don't forget the book called Stripes, Strength, and Lipstick by none other than Jennifer McNeil. Okay. And if you give me a second, I'll grab the book and I'll show it to you guys so you'll know what it looks like. So, Doc, can you tell them a little bit about what the book is about, The Pursuit of Purpose, while I grab this book for our audience?
The Pursuit of Purpose is actually my journey towards finding purpose. And in the book, and I tell people this all the time, it's not intended to tell you what your purpose is, but it's intended to show you the process that you have to go through in order to determine what your purpose is. Because the purpose that you have is between you and your creator. And so that book shows you how to go inside of yourself and pull out those secrets that were left in you from the time that you were, I don't want to say created, but I guess created is a good word. Basically, it is what it says it is, the pursuit of purpose.
Awesome. Fantastic. Awesome. Fantastic. So with that being said, I wanted to bring this book back so you can see it. Again, this is Stripes, Strength, and Lipsticks by none other than Jennifer McNeil. Okay. If you need this book, you can hit up Jennifer McNeil on Amazon and get this book. It's a great read. For those of you that have maybe self-esteem concerns or trying to get yourself over the hump to get the courage to do what you need to do, that's a great book to read. And if some of you are going through the foibles of life and things are just happening, it seems like one thing after another, and you don't know what you're doing, you don't know where to turn, and you don't know why me? Well, it happens to the best of us, but you can overcome. And if you're looking for a way to overcome, check this book out. This book, When Life Happens by William Jackson. He's a singer, an author, and an actor as well. Okay, you may have seen him most recently in his interview with Les Brown. So make sure you get that book if things are just happening and you don't know what to do and you're looking for some help. When Life Happens, okay? So make sure you do that. And also look at this book as well. Excellent book that just came out, Tear the Veil by Dana Hammond. Dana Hammond, okay? Check that book out. And then we had a young lady give us another book. It is called When Warriors Speak or When Warriors Talk, God Listens. And it's by Tracy R. Kincaid. Again, When Warriors Talk, God Listens. So those books will help give you a rolling start to getting your credit in check, to being specific about your goals, and also about getting your finances straight. And for those of you that are having struggles, you can make it. You just can't give up. Don't give up. Don't give in. Reach out. Find the strength you need to move forward toward 2020, because 2020 is coming. 2020 is coming, and what you failed to do in 2019, you're going to carry that over with you to 2020, and you don't have to. Okay? And for those of you who have pretty good credit and you're looking to invest, okay, this is a great book, How to Invest in Debt. Okay, How to Invest in Debt. Great book. How to Invest in Debt. My girl just hit us up a few weeks with How to Invest in Debt. And I tell you, it's a great book for those of you that's looking how to invest in tax liens and sheriff sales and buying notes and life settlements and things like that, and credit card debt. That's the book you need to check out. So having said that, we've talked to you about being specific about your goals, right? We talked to you about don't debate, get your credit straight. And we also talked to you about getting your finances straight. So we've given you some books that we recommend highly that you read. And we hope that the veil of negativity will be lifted and the ushering of positivity and abundance will be yours as you move toward 2020. So, Doc, any final words for our guests?
Get yourself straight.
That's all, y'all. So, of course, as usual, you know I love to help you out because I want to see you guys be your best. So, with no further ado, you know what it is. I'm your girl, Lotus Rashay, from Lotus Rashay Ignites, Life Coaching and Consulting. I'm bringing inspiration to every nation because I love helping you help yourself ignite and take flight. Until we see each other again, be blessed, peace, and hair grease. Thanks, Doc. Have a good evening.
You're welcome. Good night.
Good night.